Time for your periodic reminder that the 4th edition of Dungeons & Dragons is far better than you've been told it was. I know there are plenty of haters out there, and they're allowed to be wrong. That's a joke, by the way. You can't be wrong on a subjective opinion. I just happen to think it was far better than it got credit for. It had a lot of really innovative and interesting rules design ideas, minions, monsters that became more difficult as you fought them. There were some very interesting ideas on abilities. They came up with some really cool classes that, honestly, I'd love to see a 5th edition equivalent of. They did some really interesting world building. They had a really complex skill challenge system that was much more developed than any edition of D&D, making doing skill things much more important. And it had guidelines for the XP you hand out for these complex skill challenges, which puts it up on most of the editions of Dungeons & Dragons. It really was a good game, and it's worth checking out. You can find the PDFs on DM Scale for cheap, and honestly, the print books can be found in the used bookstores for pretty cheap too. I think it is something that people should go back and re-experience and rediscover, because if you do, you'll find that the game was actually pretty cool in a lot of ways. Were there flaws in it? Yes, there's a flaw in every edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Every single one. Some of them had multiple flaws. But it was a good game. And I really think people should give it another try.